The STB-1 is a Tier 10 Japanese tech tree medium. It's a vehicle which, 5 months ago, was the most popular Tier 10 in the game. Featured high levels of DPM, solid mobility, 11 degrees of gun depression, and... oh wait, no, it still has all of those mechanics. I cannot tell you the reason why the player base has stopped using this vehicle. Like, I know why. It's because Wargaming decided to take away, like, 10 mils of premium pen and 150 DPM from a downright overpowered tank, but that's not enough to really hurt the STB. This is a vehicle which features the most gun depression in tier 10 for a medium. It's a vehicle which still has over 3,000 damage per minute, a tank which still has one of the most cringe armor profiles in tier 10. And I just find it crazy that there's so many people that just have this tank collecting dust in their garage because they think 150 DPM is going to make or break their gameplay. Trust me, unless you're averaging 3,500 and above in terms of average damage, that 150 DPM is not going to mean much in your overall average damage. And, well, let's see what the tank can do in today's video. Enemy 4202, I'm not really sure how that player actually spotted me, to be honest, but I don't think it really matters. They're already quite bled, and we get another nice shell. Loading gold in this vehicle, you only lose like 15 damage per shot, which is basically nothing. And not only that, but, well, that's it. I mean, I don't know what else to say. The STB is just a brain-dead tank. You get hauled down, you shoot people. That's it. So, what do they have? They have a light tank, and it's a Sheridan. Yep, there it is. There it is. I know where that Sheridan is. It's in that bush that I was just in on the other side of the map. And unfortunately, there's very little ways to counter that, but we can shoot the 100 in the back at least. That's a little bit of free damage. Yep, what do you know? I guessed exactly where that player was. Whoa. Well, we have the enemy STB, and Lashation's poking over here. I'm hoping that I can at least get a shell into the Sheridan, and I do. Nice bleeding shell as well. And now what I'm hoping is that I can push over here, get a shell into this player once, and then cross this before the enemy Foch is able to really do anything to me. Get a clear into you. And then we are already in a pretty solid situation here. So if the Sheridan decides to run, there you go, nice 339. Indeed, they do have the Foch in this back corner. By the way, we've already dealt 2,200 damage. Like, that's already a solid amount of damage. And I don't think the DPM's really causing us to struggle all too much, gotta be honest. 413 damage high explosive into the rear of the Foch once. And, just gonna fire a standard 289. Looks like the rest of our team's probably going to pick up clears there. Actually, I was able to get a shell out. Alright, let's head over to the Caro, who decided to screw over his medium flank. We also got the Yo over here. Bonk. Yeah, guys, this tank's terrible. Definitely so bad to the point you shouldn't drive it anymore. Oh, yeah. Oh, that E100's gonna HE him for, like, all of his HP. And boom! Well, I'll take it. 31 damage, and hey, we got the clear, actually. I'm surprised. I thought that 4005 was gonna out-reload me. So, there you go. That was 3,900 damage. I'm trying to find where this vehicle got nerfed, but, you know, it's a little challenging when, you know, in a pretty easy game there, I just deal 3,800 damage without breaking a sweat. This is a lesson of advice for some people, right? Just because a tank gets nerfed does not mean that it's ruined. If you take a vehicle which is overpowered, and then you nerf it 150 DPM, and you don't change really anything else about it, it's just going to be super strong and not OP anymore. Super strong is still the upper echelon of tank's capabilities, it's just not overpowered. And honestly, I still consider this tank to be in the overpowered category. The reason the STB was considered OP was not due to the DPM. It was due to the fact, and still is due to the fact, it's an incredibly cringe profile to shoot at with 11 degrees of gun depression and a gun which has AP premium and doesn't lose any damage when firing gold. Those are the major reasons. The accuracy on move is still very good, as we've seen from the multiple shots I've been able to hit into the enemy. And I mean, that's really as simple as it is. The STB-1 is a rat. It's one of those tanks that gets dug into a haul-down position, and then you're never able to counter. So we're going to move over here, and there you go. We have the enemy Caro detected, and we're just going to load a gold shell. Nice. easy bleed into the enemy Caro for a little bit of his HP. We actually did not get detected for that, which is weird, but alright. I'm not going to complain. Well, there's the Caro, and as we can see, that player is running, and there you go. Another nice shot. Two really bad rolls, but we've still bled that player about 600 of their HP, and I would assume that, well, they have two 183s, which is something to be nervous about, because at the end of the day, where are those 183s going to go? I don't know, but definitely something to be at least a little bit cautious about. Oh, that player drove into a wall, and it actually saved them, because it bumped their mantlet into right where I was aiming. As I said, I'm worried about those 183s. I don't know where they are. I'm going to cross this, though, and see what happens. I think we'll be okay if we cross here. Question is, do they have 183s in this back bush? No. Looks like they don't, because one of the FE2 and 5B 183s is already spotted. There you go. Nice 348 right into the roof. We're up to 1,200 damage already. Not bad. Our team is not doing very well on the heavy side. Now, one thing that was buffed on this tank while there were nerfed values is the top speed. Oh, sweet. And there's the other 183. This vehicle's top speed actually got buffed to 56 kilometers per hour from what used to be 53. So that's a nice change at least, right? We have the E100 here, and there you go. Nice 347 into the rear. Let's put on adrenaline, and let's get a second shell into the rear of the E100. Not bad. It's at least a little bit of a bleed out. The KPZ-50T gets a shell into the enemy FE2 and 5B183, and I'm going to move over here as well, get a shell on myself for 358. I really am not worried about this 183. Like, there you go, 183 missed me. Yo guys, the tank got nerfed. It's so hard to play now. Look at how challenging this gameplay is. I have to, like, I don't know, farm. Ooh, so challenging. I'm only at 3,000 damage. I really don't understand how people can say this tank got nerfed when, like, this is the gameplay that is involved in doing well in the STB. Like, to me, this is pretty neurodivergent. Alrighty, well, we have the E100 over here, and E100's now dead. Oh, no thank you. Now, can our 11 degrees of gun depression? Of course it can. For an STB, what kind of question is that? Well, let's just move up to the Super Skonker, I guess. Maybe we can get a shell into the 260. Alright, guess we're going to bounce the flat side of a 260. That doesn't really make sense, but it's alright. Let's get to the side of the Scooper Gonker, and let's aim it in a high explosive. There you go, 397. Oh yeah, it's going great for you. Oh, another 420, boom boom. Alright, and oh, not able to get an HE, but still 336 HP. Alright, yeah guys, terrible tank now, clearly. Look at how bad it is. I've only dealt like all of the enemy's HP. Boom, wow, that was really challenging. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, anybody that tries to argue, oh, the STB's not good anymore, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's still one of the most brain-dead tanks in Tier 10. It's just as good as the M48 Patton. It's just as good as the E50M. It's just as good as the T22 Medium. I mean, that was one of the easiest 5,000 damage games I've played in a while. I literally just farmed and farmed and farmed. With Gunrammer, you are still sitting over 3,000 DPM. And that is more than enough damage per minute for a tank that has a nearly impenetrable turret, an incredibly troll haul, and a top speed of 50 plus kilometers per hour. And you have to remember, as I was saying before, loading gold, you only lose 10 damage per shot. So this tank, when loading gold, still has basically 3,000 DPM. And, like, if I were to pull up Blitzkit, you can kind of see that. You know, if we go to Blitzkit here, and I go to Tankopedia, and we type in STB, here we go. So if you look at the STB, right, you have rammer on the tank, so the same 3028 DPM. This is what your DPM is if you load gold, 2936, okay? Now compare that DPM to, let's say, instead of an STB, a M48 Patton, okay? So now we have an M48 Patton. M48 has 3300 DPM, but load gold, now you have 2800. You have less DPM loading gold in this vehicle with less penetration with rammer than you do the STB-1. This tank is still incredible. If it's sitting in your garage and you've been saying, oh, I don't want to drive it because it's not good anymore, I don't know what planet you're living on, but it's definitely not this planet because this tank is still insane. I've played it 4 times today, and while I did have 2 defeats, both of the defeats were, I mean, you can see for yourself. Both defeats were like this, by the way. So, STB-1 did fine. Every single game I played it today. But you guys can let me know your personal feelings, comments, and opinions down below. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.